Welcome back and hello again to a new video about World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Today I'm going to show you the second region you will meet in the game, called Maldraxxus. It's about, the second region is about the a group or a faction that is dominated by the so-called Necrolords. It's the faction is called Army of the Undying. Figures. The main theme of the whole region is bones, bile, and goo. You had a quick view on our way in already. What you can see in the distance in the background is the so-called Seat of the Primus. It's the base of all those players who chose the faction as their covenant, and it has a few other interesting features. You will see me do a few world quests because my daily mission was to help the Army of the Undying. The factions actually work together and help each other out. So me as a Nightfall player, I also have to help the other factions. Yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of bones, a lot of blood, a lot of gore. There's patchwork abominations running around. My current quest is to find 3 battle plans. One is dropped by the patchwork abominations. One is dropped by the necromancers, and the third one is dropped by some by the warriors of the Chosen. Right now I'm fighting the construct for their battle plan, and there it is. Rushing over to the Lich is next because the Chosen are rare. You have to wait for them to spawn, so I was just rushing over to the Liches. In the background you can see the typical architecture. It consists of bone-based constructs and a few walls of undefined material in between. I have to assume it's also bones. You also see a lot of bone piles lying around everywhere. The creatures, as you will see later, have a similar theme. The whole color, all the colors or the color theme is rather bleak, bony, dusty, a little bit gray, a little bit of green, a lot of green actually, in other parts. Okay, found the Lich battle plan, looking for the Chosen, the Warriors Chosen battle plan, and here they are. The warriors of this faction are usually brutish or strong-armed. So yeah, a little tweak over. Next region. You see a lot of fungi, a lot of mushrooms, larger and smaller ones, and a lot of goo, different kinds of goo. Here's one that has a skeleton inside and is vaguely humanoid shaped. But you will also see a lot of just random ghoulish, random blob formed ones. I'm sorry for the cut in between. That was due to the length of the video. I had quite some time traveling from point A to point B, and it wasn't very interesting at this point. I made sure to have a few good looks around the region later. So here you can see more of the factions' typical architecture: bones, blood, bile, and the aforementioned goo-like oozes or blobs. The world quest was to gather 3 remains of the blobs and just put them in the pit of undefinable whatever this is. I have no idea what they're doing in there, and I don't even want to know, to be honest. Flightmaster. The typical flight mount is a 2-winged, half-dead or undead wyvern. I don't exactly know. I don't exactly what it is. If it's natural or if it's stitched together. I think it's a natural predator, but I'm not quite sure. The overall theme or the overall idea of the region is strive. Everyone is a competitor. Everyone fights each other. Everyone strives. Everyone is challenging each other. So it's rather about combat and fighting than anything else. The denizens of this world are a mix of different creatures. You have sentient skeletons, you have the fighters of the aforementioned House of the Chosen, you have these spider-like creatures, you have a lot of interesting wildlife. It's usually everything is combat-oriented. There's not many mobs that are neutral. There are of course some, but there are not many. Most are either friends or mostly foes. You have to fight at some point. So the overall theme is actually fighting. Yeah, faction-wise, they consist of 5 houses. The House of Constructs, who make patchwork abominations, the House of Plagues, who create poisons and plagues and such, the House of Ice, who are spies and infiltrators, the House of the Chosen, who are basically just really strong gladiators and fighters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, let me think, I'm not sure. Next time I open the map I can probably tell you. So each house has a different ideal, a different setting about how they go to war, but it's ultimately about war, about fighting each other, about combat. In the center there is an arena called the Theater of Pain. It's also one of the dungeons of Shadowlands. A rather interesting one, a rather fun one. I am sure I will sometime show you. With a few interesting fights, a few interesting ideas. You have the strong bone theme. So yeah. Really well done, lore-wise and flavor-wise. Right now I'm finishing up on the second or third, world quest, where I have to gather some parts to stitch together abominations. Luckily I don't have to stitch them together myself. That's done by experts, and I am no expert for that. Okay, so right now I have finished my third world quest, and now I have some time to just show you the landscape of Maldraxxus. It's rather barren, it's a little bit of a wasteland. Not much vegetation, not much plants anywhere, except for the fungi or mushrooms who grow live almost everywhere. A few strains of grass, but mostly barren landscape. Of course, you have a few pools of goo or ooze. Right here, you have oozes all around me, or you had oozes all around me. Before us, you can see the remains of one of the houses. Two of them already fell. The house of plagues went down, and the house of ice followed soon. This is the beginning of the story. You basically had 5 houses, and one has fallen to unknown reason, and the other falls just before you arrive, basically. So when you come, there's 3 houses. You are taken as part of one to get through the story. This is the 4th world quest I'm doing. It's the last one, and after that I have taken some time to show you the landscape of Maldraxxus. Yeah, it's the story is kind of interesting. You get to know the houses, or the remaining houses. You get to get around. There's a bit of betrayal, a bit of a fair amount of fighting and challenge. I won't go into too much detail in case you want to, in case you ever want to play it yourself. I don't want to spoil too much. You meet some interesting characters from past expansions. One of my favorites, mainly because she's a Naga, and secondly because she was really cool in my personal opinion. It's Lady Bash, that have the that is part of one of the houses, one of the fallen houses actually. Yeah. You can see right now there's a lot of tall structures around. Not everything is climbable. Sometimes you have to be clever how to get around, how to move. Sometimes you have to plot your way, because you can't just walk anywhere, or you have to take bigger detours. There's also a fair share of treasures hidden here. Later in the video you will see me uncover or open one as part of the video. Right now we're on on 2 times the normal playing speed, so I can cram everything I want to show you in the video. Here you can see again the pools of acid or goo, or I have no idea what it is. And here we are at the House of Constructs, or we are sneaking to the House of Constructs. They are our enemies, they are dangerous, and there's a lot of things that try to fight me or the players in general. This is also the group that invaded the Bastion, the Kyrian faction I showed you before. They have some remains of Kyrian bodies and weaponry lying around here for later use, I guess. And here we are at the Stitch Yards, which means this is where they built their abomination. This is actually part of the Covenant ability, or Covenant minigame. When you choose this Covenant, at some point you get to build your own abomination. You can click it together, and the spirits that come to you have like a wish list. So they can say, okay, I want this head, I want to be tall and muscly, I want to have big strong arms, I want an additional hook, I want a third arm, please give me 4 legs, please give me a tuxedo and a cylinder, I have no idea. But this is basically what I saw. And right now I'm just running around to find the third rune to open the this treasure. At this point I was actually ready to give up, but I just thought, okay, no, I started it. I want to show the show you what's inside, how this treasure thing works. So I'm looking for 3 runes that are somewhere hidden around these parts. And there's the third one. There on the wall. Now that I have clicked all 3 or found all 3, I can open the treasure and get some stuff, like a little bit of anima, a little bit of just goodies to make money off. Yeah, that's basically Maldraxxus. Yeah, there's a few rather big, rather chumpy patchworks running all around the place. They have patchworks here, they have some weird mutated giants in those acid or goo pools. Lots of giant mushrooms, of course, why not? But yeah, you have now an idea of what to expect if you ever visit Maldraxxus in the afterlife. And as a final piece, this is the central arena. There's always some battle going on. You can see the contestants in the bubbles on the side. One is actually currently fighting, but since no one is fighting in the arena with it, I just chose not to engage, because I wouldn't have survived that. I wouldn't even have dented it before it would have killed me. Yeah, those are typical beasts of the area. Just take all my stuff, give me some money, bro. Thanks a lot. And then we're out of here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got yeah, a good idea of how Maldraxxus is themed, of how Maldraxxus works. Thanks for watching and goodbye.